Hello, everybody. Once again, I'm coming on with another video that the Lord had. I'm sorry, not a video, another dream that the Lord had given me, and pertaining to the times of all that's going on with Russia and ISIS and everything. This one is one that He gave me back in December, and it was about Russia and us being in the midst of a war. So it starts out with me being in this classroom setting. And as I'm in this classroom, I get a text on my phone in the dream. It was either a text or an email, but it was via, cell phone. And so as I'm receiving the message, I was not specifically told exactly what the information was, but it was given to me that the information that I received was from God about the future. He was letting me know things that were coming. So as I received this, I began to share this with the people in the classroom. And as I'm telling people, just as it speaks of in the Bible, some people believed. Actually, there was only one person that actually believed, and she followed me, and I'll get to that in a second. But there'll be people who will believe. And then there were people, when I talked about this in the dream, they looked at me as if I was crazy. And then there were others who were too busy to pay attention to what I was saying. The list goes on. But I was trying to warn them and tell them about what the Lord was giving me. And nobody would listen except for one person. So as I'm sitting in the classroom, I was telling the other lady who actually followed me in the dream about what I had been told. And she got up and she followed me. But before we left, the teacher of the classroom said, she made us get out. She said to get out. And she said, if there was anyone else who believed, you can go too. So just as I said, the lady that I was talking to in the classroom, she got up and she followed me, and she was the only one. And we got kicked out of class. So as we get kicked out of class, we're walking off the campus of the school. And we're walking into this field, an open field. And it's daylight, broad daylight. And I look in the sky and the stars are out, just like they would be at night. But they were red, just as if you were looking at a blood moon. They were red. And they began to shake. And as they began to shake, because I had already had previous dreams about the stars falling from the sky. So by this time, I knew that when I saw this, something was about to happen. So I crouched down, to take cover. And as I did, it's like when the stars fell this time, to the far, far left of us, it was like a bomb was set off. And just like you would see a mushroom cloud from an atomic bomb, the fire from this bomb started to rush towards us. And as this happened, it switched to, it was not only just me and this girl who left the class with me. It was more people, but I could not specifically see who was with us. But we started walking into the field. But as we did this, there were Russian soldiers who were leading us. I don't know if they were taking us captive, but they were herding us through this field, basically toward the war, toward the fire. And so as we were walking, there was a soldier who was to the right of me. He looked back and he began to talk to me. I could not make out his words because as he began to talk, the Lord's voice overshadowed his, and he spoke clearly, and he said, Russia must come first, but peacefully and humbly, because we were walking in this field, but there was a war going on. People were fighting. And so as soon as the Lord said this, I look up and I see the sickle, which comes from the Russian sign, the sickle and hammer, but I see the sickle coming towards us. It was actually coming toward me. But as it began to get closer to me, it was like it was deflected because it turned into cardboard and it never touched me. But then, that was the end of the dream. But he clearly let me know that Russia must come first, but in a peaceful way. So, and I'm looking at, the things that are going on right now. If you're keeping up with the news, there's so much going on. We have to stay mindful of all the things that are going on. Not that we have to be so involved in politics and everything, but you have to stay mindful of the things that are happening around the world, because it is foretelling prophecy. And it's also confirming the dreams that God has given his people to share with others. So we have to be mindful of these things. I wanted to share that because I know that that's useful, and I know that the Lord gave me that. And I'm, like I said in my last video, there's so many things that I have to talk about, and I want to make sure that people understand that, I'm doing this because I want to be obedient to the Lord. I want to serve him. And I know that he didn't just give this to me. He didn't just give this for it to be for me. So I thank him very dearly for choosing, to wake me up. And that I was chosen for him to do such things. But I pray that it helps other people as well. I pray that people are awakened by the messages that God is sending through his people. Have a good evening.